It's only late January, and the regular season set between the Caps and Thrashers will end tonight inside of Phillips Arena. It's the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet, available to you in high definition. Joe Beninati and Craig Laughlin, so glad you've tuned in. Bruce Boudreau pacing behind the Washington bench. He said he was worried about this game the moment he awakened this morning. All fired up for it, but knows that there's a challenge ahead.
Well, I think both teams want to go into the break, Joe, with a win under their belt, so they're not thinking about the loss. I think this is going to be a heavy-heated, battling game tonight.
Opening face-off presented by our friends at Papa John's Pizza. We are underway with Atlanta here in Blue Land, dressed in blue. And immediately, right off the opening draw, just 8 ticks into the contest, a chance to do it again. With Jeff Schultz and the Capitals, 63 total points on their ledger, second best in the Southeast Division on the strength of 27 wins. This Atlanta squad, 55 total points, 23 victories. A year ago, they were a distant second in the Southeast Division to Washington and did not qualify for the postseason.
And they've been pretty inconsistent. You know, they've had some good runs this season, but their recent run with not many wins, their last 16 games, have cost them some big-time points in the Southeast.
Mike Green jumping up into the flow. You're seeing the offensive combinations for Bruce Boudreau, Dean Evison, and Bob Woods. Green, a long-range wrister wide of Andre Pavlik, who's been brilliant against Washington this year. When we get to the defenders, you'll see Scott Hannon playing in NHL game number 800. You just saw Matt Bradley on the fourth line getting back in business after his finger injury. And thank goodness, because he'll get off my back now for not mentioning him night after night. He's wearing me out. Backstrom and Ovechkin on ice along with Chimera this trip. Andrew Ladd looking to play it clear. The Thrashers captain, who's playing a bit banged up tonight. Ovechkin turns the corner. Alex Ovechkin to the front, looking for the tip-in try. Steered to safety. Bergfors, Swedish-born winger, loops it over the head of Ron Hainsey. Chimera on the cycle for Backstrom. In tight quarters to Ovechkin. His pass blocked away. John Carlson. Carl Alsner at a point position for Washington. This is Backstrom for Alsner on the perimeter. The wrister is wide of the net. Carlson fires away. That one caroms to the front. It'll be skated out of there by Ladd and Bergfors.
Well, that's a good sign of things to come, I think. The way the Capitals hemmed them in early on in this game, they were statues in their own zone. The Capitals have to continue to overlap, continue to crisscross to put pressure on the D for Atlanta.
This one rolls all the way to the native of the Czech Republic, Andre Pavlik, who has a shutout against Washington this season. In this building, in fact, back in the month of November. An ice-level look at the breakout beginning for John Oduya. Bufflin on a stretch pass intended for Frederick Modine. That's deflected aside. And Craig Ramsey, the bench boss for Atlanta, will change him up on the go.
And now we see sort of the teams both settling in here. Look for Atlanta to be a little conservative. They worry about the Capitals' explosive power and their offense. So right off the bat, we see a very conservative 1-2-2 once the Capitals get the puck under control.
And Bruce Boudreau will look you dead in the eye and say, you know what, right now, this hockey team, the Washington Capitals, isn't that explosive, and the numbers would bear that out. Their offensive productivity is far down from this time a season ago.
And with it being down, though, they picked it up on the offense. You look at the goals against the last 16 or 18 games, just over 2. I mean, they've really been much better in their own zone and between the two blue lines.
Very much missing the services of injured 40-goal scorer last year, Alex Semin. Bradley hooks the pass back for Boyd Gordon. Then David Steckel drive off the shoulder of Pavlik. Green venturing in, erased there by Burmistrov. The youngster Burmistrov has been very good against Washington, but of late, in the last 20 games or so, it seems like he's hit the wall in this his rookie year.
Yeah, no points the last 10. I mean, he's pushed to a lot of minutes for this hockey team. He has tremendous skill, but obviously as a youngster, you have so many ups and downs. He's in a downtrend right now for Atlanta.
Another rookie out there just got rattled against the boards. That's Patrice Cormier, filled in by Mike Green. As we quickly move towards the 4-minute mark of this opening period, a backhander that went through the crease. Semyon Varlamov guarding the goal for Washington tonight. Backed up by Braden Holtby. Backstrom on the move, throws the stiff arm out at Anthony Stewart. Ovechkin joins the thrust, sends it way wide. Point position, this is Schultz. Ovechkin didn't snake between defenders. Little takes it back, and Oduya is set to roll. This Atlanta team is minus Toby Enstrom tonight, and that is a huge loss for them.
And he's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks with that broken finger, and unfortunately for him, will also have to miss the All-Star game. It would have been his first appearance. He's been a great find for this Thrasher team. Very, very good and durable his first 3 seasons here.
He played almost 300 games without an injury. Around for Ladd. Cradles it through center. Andrew Ladd will steer it in. Bergfors marching after it. Alzner gets there first. John Carlson, who turned 21 this month. On for Matt Hendricks, who has goals in back-to-back games. Now Johansson's in to the backhand. Denied by Pavlik.
And what a great pass by Hendricks, springing Johansson. There's that change of speed and the acceleration when you see a confident Johansson. When he's confident, he's got the acceleration, he's got the explosive power. Great first opportunity for the Caps.
That's the evidence as to why Washington is so high on number 90. It's that acceleration and speed which can scare the daylights out of defenders. Along the boards, it's a log jam. Scott Hannon giving up some ground. NHL game number 800 for him. Brooks Laich, after Freddie Meyer, puts him to the boards. Erskine creeping in from a point position, didn't get there in time, and Beagle will reorganize for Washington. Laich motoring in. Perreault back for Laich, who is unsuspecting.
He's got to shoot that puck there, and that's one thing that the coach, Bruce Boudreau, wasn't too happy about against the Rangers. They didn't generate enough shots on net. He said his team was looking to pass or the pretty play rather than shooting it and going to the net, and that's when Matthew has to shoot on their goaltender.
He should be hungry for goals as Steckel fires. That's blocked by Hainsey. Perreault has not tallied in the month of January. Boyd Gordon boxed in there by Bogosian, and Burmistrov will dance away from the pack. Rapidly moving towards the 7-minute mark of the first period. Delayed offside against Washington, now waved as they tag up. On the long lead intended for Thorburn. Beneath his stick blade. Schultz sends it on around to the open David Steckel. Boyd Gordon continues the thrust. Mike Green is ailing a bit, making his wobbly way back into position at the blue line.
He got hit by a Mack truck by Thorburn right in that corner. He's a guy that finishes all his checks. He's a very good skater for a big man on this Atlanta team.
Little busting in now for Atlanta. Cross rink. Anthony Stewart on back for Oduya, and Ovechkin was right nearby. Chimera with all the speed in the world down the boards. For Ovechkin to fire, that was weakened on the way. Byfuglien on patrol, and Dustin Byfuglien loves to jump up into the rush, creating odd man rushes. Anthony Stewart peppers one right to the stick of Semyon Varlamov. Backstrom reels it in concert with Karl Alzner. Skipping back through center. Alzner gets the attack territory, armed to the boards by Meyer. A pass to the deep slot, nudged away. Hendricks closing in. Matt Hendricks turns the corner. Settles. Carlson with a screen developing, fires, and that hit traffic in front. Johansson back for Carlson. Wrister deflection try. Pavlik on top of the crease to beat Hendricks. Byfuglien loops it back all the way down with enough starch for it to be an icing against Atlanta. Caps and Thrashers, no score, and finally we can tell you exactly who the netminders are.
Well, there's Pavlik at one end. At the other end, it's Varlamov for the Washington Capitals. Two very good goaltenders, both big and agile. There you look at Varley's number. He's looking for win number 9 tonight. A goals against under 2.25, 9.26. Pavlik, as you mentioned earlier on, has been terrific in the series against the Caps. He's looking for win number 17.
Thrashers here at home, protecting their home ice. They actually have more wins on the road this year than at Phillips. Ladd is covered up by Alzner. Good keep in. The wingspan of Nick Antropov on display there. Peverly, who's had a very good month of January. Inside Antropov, turned away by Carlson. Caps in their traveling whites. Last game before the All-Star break for Washington. Mike Green and Alex Ovechkin on their way to Raleigh, North Carolina for those festivities during the weekend. Matt Bradley sprinkles it back into the offensive zone, and Pavlik will tee it up. Hainsey, the Connecticut native, on for Bogosian. Zach Bogosian from upstate New York. Gets it on through Hannon and back onto the Washington side of the table.
Bogosian's had a struggling season here for the Atlanta Thrashers. In fact, being a healthy scratch several hockey games, they need him to be a power defenseman and a force on their blue line.
8:47 gone by in the opening frame. A Southeast Division rivalry renewed.
I think this is going to be a heavy-heated battling game tonight.
Opening face-off presented by our friends at Papa John. Star Trek is presented by Toyota. High-scoring blue liners tonight.
For the Capitals, Mike Green always sneaks in every opportunity. 8 goals on the season. Dustin Byfuglien can do it from the back line or converted forward. That's been terrific this year in Atlanta.
Mike Green, kiddingly, this morning was asking us, as you see their numbers in their last few outings, so what's the NHL record for most goals by a defenseman in a single game?
Took us a little while to figure that one out.
And it shouldn't have.
I know. Ian Turnbull, 5 goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Bunch of guys, bunch of defenders had 4, including Turnbull. He had a pair of those monster games.
And both those Star Watch guys, you'd expect they put some points up tonight. They have not lit it up lately for their respective hockey teams. Both will participate in the All-Star game.
Almost halfway home in this opening period. Washington and Atlanta are scoreless. Peverly opening it up at center. For Meyer, drills it off the linesman. Zebra stripes tonight. Tim Peel, Francois Saint Laurent wearing the orange armbands as referees. Derek Nansen and Dan Shakti on the lines. On the lead for Little. 3-on-2 Atlanta. Little, nice pass off of Stewart, and it's juggled by Varlamov, an acrobatic save.
That was a real good breakout and dash between the blue lines. They caught the Caps at the half wall in a real quick transition for Little and company. Here come the Thrash right in your living room. Little hookup, saucer to the left side. There it goes right off the skates of the forward going to the net. Little really has to be a catalyst with Stewart and Thorburn. He has to be the guy that sets those 2 big rigs up. They get their first opportunity against Varley.
Byfuglien fires off the outside of the post. The rebound, and Little sent it right through the goal mouth. 2 good chances in succession for Atlanta. John Carlson looking for his first goal on the road this year, watching as Brooks Laich works down the boards. Laich keeps it in the corner. Perreault throws one to the front. On guard there defensively, Chris Thorburn. Thrashers building momentum through center. Anthony Stewart will scoop it in. Craig Ramsey will change him up on the go. Locker, that Anthony Stewart redirect was off the skate. It would have been interesting had that one gone in. Almost assuredly it would have been reviewed. Hendricks occupied by Burmistrov. Antropov on the outlet. Smooth moves. Burmistrov's in 2-on-2. Fires and had that one blocked by Mike Green.
He is really smooth with the puck. It's amazing when you're a fast player and you can handle the puck. Sometimes when players get the puck, they actually slow down. It's the elite players and the players that are going to be in the league a long time that can speed at full speed, skate at full speed, and still have the puck on the stick.
Not bad for an old guy. He's 19.
Yeah.
Goodness me, 19 years old. At the line, this is offside against Washington. We need to step away. We'll hustle you back to Phillips Arena. Join Mike Knuble and friends as the Caps are entertained by the Thrashers. It's the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Southeast Division showdown. Caps and Thrashers no score. On the Toyota League leaderboard, we can tell that Scott Hannon is exceptionally durable.
Yeah, since 01, he's played the most games on the blue line in the NHL, ahead of Lidstrom, O'Donnell, Timonen, and Phillips. And as you mentioned earlier, Joe, congrats to him. Nice milestone, 800th game for Hannon on the blue line.
Scott recently celebrated his 32nd birthday. Did so back over the weekend. Ovechkin's pass to the front from one captain to the other. Andrew Ladd sends it high on the glass. Bergfors peels it off to Peverly. Alsner was in the way for Washington. And Backstrom will make a break for it. Nicholas Backstrom taps it down the wing for Chimera. Jason Chimera lost his footing. Good-naturedly, he was having a chat with you around the morning skate about how much fun it is to play with these two stars. Ovechkin goes down, and the Caps get their first power play on the night.
And I think that's great for Jason Chimera. He's worked hard his whole career. He's got tremendous foot speed. Ladd will go off as he upbends Alex. There it is, leg on leg. One captain to the other captain. The Caps go to the first power play of this hockey game.
Ladd will sit this one out. Washington skates 5-on-4. And the power play has been ice cold of late.
Don't tell me about that, okay?
Okay. To the front quickly. Pavlik makes a bad save on Backstrom. Almost got out of the deep freeze right there in a hurry. In the last 8 games, a mere 1 for 18. Backstrom settles. Overloading this side. Seam pass, Green. Rister deflected in front. Backstrom wins it. Carlson, switch it up. Green fires. Stick save there. Pavlik with Ovechkin looking for a tip in. Big hit along the board. Sopel took the worst of it. Caps keep it in. Green right up the gut on the deke. Kept to the outside by Oduya. Man advantage, another 116. Backstrom fans on it. And Little will scamper ahead. Working in quickly and shorthanded. Step shot on the way. He buzzed it high. Brian Little.
That was a real neat-looking shot from Little. He's got 13 goals on the season and a best plus 12 for this hockey team, trying to get a shorty here against the Capitals power play.
And working against the Thrashers unit, 29th on the circuit. We just showed you that, and Hainsey sends it all the way back. Drifting below 7 minutes to go in the opening period. NHL on Comcast Sportsnet tonight. Remind you about a real good ACC basketball game on our airways coming tomorrow, 7 p.m. in Charlottesville. The University of Maryland will tangle with UVA.
And Gary Williams will celebrate his 700th game. That is alma mater. He's got 400, Joe, and 54 wins under his belt.
That'll work out nicely. On the rush, this is offside against Washington. Still 20 seconds left on a man advantage.
And there's Mike Knuble and company, a key component of this power play, especially last season when they led the National Hockey League. They're going against a penalty-killing unit that you talked about, Joe, but only the Oilers have allowed more PPGs against. This team in Atlanta has allowed 43, the Oilers 46. And that's some area that they want to improve on, but this is where the Capitals should be able to win this game. They've got to win it with the extra man.
Caps didn't help themselves against the Rangers back on Monday. They were 0 for 2. Ladd is up at the penalty box door. Back to 5-on-5 play. Knuble whistled offside against Washington. Caps and Thrashers. Just over 6 minutes to go in this opening period, along with Craig Laughlin. I'm Joe Beninati. We bring you inside of Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Caps and Thrashers have not squared off since early December 4th to be specific. At Verizon, it was Craig Ramsey's team securing a 3-1 win that night, and it was the teenager Burmistrov who had the winner over Bruce Boudreau.
And Craig Ramsey, we talk about coaches of the year, he has to be considered on a list of probably 5 guys. I think he's turned around this team in Atlanta. He's done a great job teaching the players how to play hockey, and that's what he thinks his #1 job is to teach the game of hockey, and I think he's been terrific and a real good hire by their general manager, Dale Talon.
Thrashers are in a cold spell right now. Carolina's been gaining ground on them, and Ramsey says he has to be more involved at a point like this to reinforce the concepts of what they want to do.
It's actually not Dale Talon. He's in Florida. I'm thinking
Correct.
of another GM. It's Rick Dudley here in Atlanta.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Bufflin turns it around the boards.
Playing Mr. Correction on myself.
That was pretty good. You didn't even need me to do it. You saw me holding my hand up.
I know you did.
Well. Johnny Oduya, former Caps prospect, on for Peverly. Snapshot on the way. Blocker pad for Varlamov at the ready. Ladd to the front. The only man there is Matthew Perreault. Perreault teaming up with Brooks Light. Ridden to the boards. Perfect timing from Zach Bogosian.
They need more of that from Big Zach. A little bit of struggle this season when it comes to skating. He's lost his confidence, and he needs to find it in a hurry.
Hainsey will switch it up. Offer for Ladd, and he'll punch it clear. 4:40 to go, first period. Still looking for that first red light. No goals on the board. Beagle on the drop for Perreault. Matthew Perreault hesitates, then fans. Tried to make that curl and drag move to change the angle on the shot, and forgot something.
That was a real good poke check also from the defenseman, making sure he had a good stick right in that shooting lane to prevent that curl and drag from happening from Matthew.
At center ice, Alsner measuring little. Bogosian turns on back. Hainsey. That was a tough pass to catch for Anthony Stewart with Alex Ovechkin right there in his grill. Fenced out of the air by Little. Delayed offside against Washington is waved. Rapidly, these teams are below 4 minutes to go in the first period, separating us from a NetStar 1 intermission live on CSN.
And rapidly, both teams trying to slow down the pace here in Atlanta, and I think the Capitals will be best served to pick up the pace against this Atlanta team and take it to them, especially on the forecheck.
Green dancing away from trouble, then he's collared in the corner by Modin. Burmistrov zips that one right through the crease. Oduya on for Modin, bottled up by Jeff Schultz. Nicholas Backstrom feeds Alex Ovechkin, and this one will come back down into Atlanta territory. Oduya and Chimera excellent skaters, and they both wipe out to the corner.
And the referee was close to putting up his hand. It was halfway up, and he was going to nick Chimera for a trip. And then he thought otherwise, and the Caps escape a shorthanded situation.
Burmistrov didn't feel that one cleanly. Ladd will. Sends it hard around and goes right after Mike Green. Board to board, Matt Hendricks. Hendricks hustling in there. Poke check by Bufflin. 5-on-5 play continues. 2:45 to go in the first. Meyer down the wing for Ladd. Erased there by Carlson as this is deflected out of play. No score at Phillips Arena. Southeast Division rivals squaring off. The speedy Oduya, equally speedy Chimera. Look out, to the boards they go. Craig, it's obvious at the top of the list of scouting for Atlanta. Throw it into Mike Green's corner and make him pay.
Well, he made Cormier pay there, and then Thorburn makes Mike Green pay. Got up slowly after that collision. Then a nice block on Burmistrov using the old-fashioned poke check. Greeny, 43 games. You look at his 22 points for the Caps. Like to get on the board before he goes to the All-Star game Sunday afternoon.
Definitely a big minute man for Washington. This slapper hits off the skates of Thorburn, setting a screen in front. 2:25 to go in this first period. The game against the New York Rangers a couple nights ago had some soft spots in it. This first period has definitely not tickled your fancy, Craig.
No.
You've been pretty silent.
Well, I think the team, I think they've got to get the puck in deep like Hendricks is trying to do now. They've been too cute, and they've had 3 and 4 guys back consistently here in the first against the Caps.
Just allows me the chance to be more descriptive as you beg. Hendricks down the wing. No running room afforded him. Oduya thumps him to the boards. Dribbles it below the goal line. Opposite number 4, Zach Bogosian is there. Greeted by Matt Bradley. Bradley, Gordon, and Steckel on ice for head coach Bruce Boudreau in the final 90 seconds of the period 1.
We hope to talk to Brads after this first 20 minutes. He hasn't been around for about 5 weeks with that bad finger that he had 2 pins looked into to make sure it holds up the rest of the season.
Well, that'll be great. He'll chum it up with you. Ladd able to play clear. Yes, he will. Bergfors over skates. Peverly down the dasher. A stop-and-go move on Boyd Gordon. Peverly turns the net. Point position. One-timer on the way. Wide of the glove. Sopel puts it back behind the net again. Green slaps it on, but not out. Hainsey fires. That was blocked. Final minute of period 1. Brent Sopel, veteran blue liner for Atlanta, clears it in deep. Green, better than 26 minutes a game. Walks his way back through center, drops it off for Backstrom. Moseying in at the line, offside, Washington.
First period's once again not a fast start team, this Capitals club this season. They still have the lowest number of goals in the first period with 30. Ahead of them, Oilers, the Islanders, the Leafs. That's something that really I thought last year established the game plan. They were all, the other teams were always playing comeback hockey. And this first period, it looks like it's going to be scoreless once again here in Atlanta.
The Washington team that's won 3 of its last 5 overall. Locked up in a scoreless affair with Atlanta tonight. Semyon Varlamov giving Braden Holtby the night off. Michael Neuwirth still on the injured list for Washington. Backstrom's feed to Ovechkin in stride. Fires! Glove save, Pavlik.
That all started in the Capitals zone, and it was a bad pass by the captain, Andrew Ladd, that sprung the Caps out of the zone. He misread the play, he coughed the puck up, and this leads to the best chance of the period for the grade 8. And that's an excellent glove save by Pavlik, minding the cage once again.
Ovechkin leads Washington in goals and points, and he's just about even money to score inside of this building. 16 goals in 20 career games here. Just missing there, were it not for the glove of Pavlik. 10 seconds to go in period 1. Mike Green will delay in no particular hurry. On for Backstrom's 70-footer. Pavlik paddles it to the boards, and we are done with one here at Phillips Arena. No score, Washington and Atlanta, as Pavlik squares off with Semyon Varlamov. Netstar 1 Intermission Live is soon to come as we keep you company between periods 1 and 2. Back to Sportsnet Central very soon for an update, checking the world of sports this Wednesday. Locker will chat with a guest, and then he'll join me for highlights and stats. 20 minutes complete. Washington trying to distance itself from Atlanta in the Southeast Division standings. Both teams marching into this division tussle with gusto. Nothing after 1. Back to the studio. Here's Julie Donaldson. Sportsnet coverage of Capitals hockey is being brought to you by your Washington area Chevy dealers. Find great vehicles on ChevyFirst.com. By Netstar 1. For management strategy, Netstar 1, navigating the business of government and industry. Toyota. Buy right the first time, you'll save more in the long run. Toyota, moving forward. And by Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. The weather sounds snowy back home, where the Capitals are hoping to return tonight. Here in Atlanta, mostly crummy, rainy, raw. Caps and Thrashers, no score after 20 minutes. And folks, here's just a reminder, be sure you look out for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment. It'll come later on in this evening's action.
I hope it's a goal.
I'm thinking it will be. It may be the only one. The way things have been going lately. There was a Glenn Hadlin reference during that Wayne Gretzky tribute. You know, we push pucks. Yeah. We push pucks. Gone back to that now. This game, Locker, being viewed upwards of 15 different countries around the world. NHL International taking the feed tonight from Phillips Arena. Italy, Denmark, Sweden, the Czech Republic on the list.
So I'm not national, but I'm international.
Oh, you're
now.
Global, baby.
Global,
you are
okay.
Global.
I like that word better than international.
Take network hockey global.
Yeah.
Off we go in period 2. Penalty boxes are empty. That means we're 5-on-5. Final get-together between these two. It's interesting. The Thrashers have already finished their season set with Tampa. Oh, by the way, they lost all 6. And this is meeting number 6 with Washington tonight.
And exactly what I'm talking about in the neutral zone. Look at this. 10 guys between the two blue lines. That's why it's so difficult. You've got to make quick, smart decisions, both teams, if you're going to navigate and create some offense.
I thought there were some opportunities in the first 5 minutes for Washington. I thought they had at least a couple of odd man rushes. But then things got pretty well bogged down. Thorburn angles in. Kept to the outside by Green, who makes the stick check and the takeaway in one fell swoop. Turns away from Bergfors, loses him in the wash. Ovechkin at center, stacked up by Andrew Ladd. Ladd missed the last game for the Thrashers. They were pounded. Ovechkin's in, but offside. Offside on the rush. Atlanta beaten by Tampa Bay 7-1 on Sunday. So have a look at the Southeast Division.
And this is a huge game. I mean, you look at the Capitals in Atlanta. If the Capitals win, they move 2 points away from Tampa Bay. If they lose, they remain 4. And Atlanta, if they win, they move 10 points ahead of them. I think Carolina is a team to watch out for. They're really turning it on at the right point of the season. And congrats to Skinner, going to the NHL All-Star festivities this weekend in his hometown.
He's been a terrific rookie. Teenager, one of the youngest, if not the youngest player in the NHL. Future is extremely bright. Chimera gliding down the wing, points in 4 of his last 5 outings. finished off by Oduya. Backstrom was there to support for a moment. Chimera continues the forecheck. Ovechkin's pass intercepted by Burmistrov. Alex Burmistrov wheeling back through center. Goes into that wide glide stride. Backhands one to Varlamov, who makes the blocker pad save. Chimera scoops it back to center. Freddie Meyer on the back pedal. This is Meyer bringing it ahead for Modine. From wing to Burmistrov, and he took his eyes off of it. Brooks Laich works wide. Throws the button hook out there. Sends it below the goal line for Beagle. Matthew Perreault joining them on this trip. It squirts to Pavlik, and he'll cover up.
Some key guys in the All-Star game. We just mentioned Skinner coming to the Carolina to play in the All-Star game. Crosby out, Malkin out, Tobias Enstrom right here in Atlanta out, Hemsky out, Jerome McGinley out. His grandmother not feeling that well, and you have concussion problems, you've got broken fingers, you've got injuries, so some key guys are going to miss this weekend. Definitely the point of the year when you check the injured list for respective teams around the league, and you find a lot of guys who are dealing with bumps and bruises. And linesman Shakty says offside here against Washington. And that's a shame, Joe, because I think Carolina's going to do a heck of a job. You know, we haven't had an all-star game in a couple of seasons. They now get it. They do such a great job with everything they do down in Carolina with the Hurricanes, the building, the town, Raleigh, you name it. It's going to be a fabulous weekend for the players and personnel that will be part of that. No all-star game last year, Craig. 2010 was an Olympic Games in Vancouver. This city here, Atlanta, and Phillips Arena hosting a recent all-star game in memory. Perreault bump set for Beagle and takes the return. Down the flank with Brooks Laich working to the inside. Laich had that one pop right to the chest of Ondrej Pavelec. That puck just wouldn't lay down for anybody. Bouncing like a rubber ball towards the net. Brooks Laich no mustard on that baby whatsoever. And it just tumbled right into the chest protector of their goaltender. Here comes the puck. It starts bouncing right here when it hits Bufflin's foot, and then the saucer pass, and absolutely nothing on that shot as it bounds into the goaltender. Brooks Laich with 9 goals, 6 of them coming on the road this winter. Wrist shot, Green deflected in front. Bradley was there. Pavelec sprawls to make that save. Not kept in this time. Bradley and the Caps are offside. Face-off will come in neutral zone. Ondrej Pavelec digging in for the boys in blue. I think Brads would like to have this one back. Again off the face-off. Good work supporting Gordon and Bradley. And here comes Mike Green. Right side of the screen. Steckel goes to the net. And there's Bradley kicking it up to his stick. Getting a good little chunk of it. But stopped by the big goaltender. This guy is a big rig that covers the lower part of the cage. Craig, help us understand. Matt Bradley missing, what, 5 weeks at time. How much time will it take him to get his, quote, timing back? I think it's going to take at least a game. I think he's going to feel it each and every period. You can skate all you want. You can train all you want. But it's the old saying, nothing's like playing the game against another team. And he's been definitely trained by Mark Nemish. He does a great job with the Caps, keeping him in tip-top condition. But now it's game shape. It's totally different. Meyer cheating in from a point position. Capitals looking to play clear. Bradley does just that. David Steckel was bracketed by 2 defenders, Stapleton and Bolton. And Brent Sopel will slow the pace. Just past the top of the hour, it's the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet tonight. Tomorrow evening, we yield the airwaves to ACC men's basketball. Maryland and Virginia, arch rivals. And both teams coming off wins, Joe, so that should be a good matchup right here on CSN. Virginia snapping a losing skid with a win recently over Georgia Tech. Inside there's Green. Green to the front, had it blocked. With Oduya having a stick in the passing lane. Now the dangerous Peverly works back 3-on-3. Peverly closing in, lets it go, and he missed it on the stick side of Varlamov. Braden Holtby sitting this one out tonight after 3 consecutive starts. Ondrej Pavelec continues to be the workhorse for Atlanta. This one's muscled high off the glass by Bufflin. Bergfors to Peverly straight away. Bufflin from the sharp angle had that one click off of Karl Alsner. Almost 5 minutes into the second period and still scoreless in Atlanta. Backstrom wants to change that.
Ovechkin's snapshot off the shoulder of Pavlik and deflected out of play. Caps and Thrashers, a final get-together inside of Phillips Arena. All the sights and sounds of the NHL presented in high definition by H.H. Gregg.
The Washington Capitals and Bruce Boudreau trying to add to their Southeast numbers. They're 9-5-2 coming in. Remember, last year they racked up 19 wins and only 3 regulation losses within the division. And you can just see how this division has grown. The Southeast is like the South Beast this season.
Thorburns a very explosive, powerful skater. He was not able to reel the puck in time to create a good chance. Thrashers only had 4 shots on Semyon Varlamov in the first period. That could change here. Backhand Stewart denied. Varlamov gets the pads together and he'll cover up in the paint.
And that's a real good tester right there for Varley. Little ricochet and a bad out by the Washington Capitals, and they turn it over, and here comes the opportunity by Stewart, and on the doorstep you have Big Thorburn. Good job by Varley securing that puck underneath the left pad and glove. There's Varley's numbers in 6 career games. He's 4-1 with a .911 save percentage.
22-year-old Russian, .926 on the year for himself. Settles in for this draw to his right. Jay Beagle being excused from the dot. Matthew Perreault will take it. Perreault on the year just 48% at the face-off dot. Erskine connecting with Like. And then Beagle on the wing. Working against Oduya. Beagle erased along the wall. Burmistrov is there to lend a helping hockey stick. 4 in the quarrel behind Pavlik. Antropov will take it. Then Modine. On an alleyway to Byfuglien. Dustin Byfuglien right to the net, and he slammed it wide. Then he tried to bank it in off of Varlamov. Modine's pass splits the gap and goes all the way back into Pavlik's neighborhood.
He's got an interesting change of speed, does Byfuglien, and then he can just lower the boom, and there's no way you can secure him when he's breaking wide on you.
He's 260-plus pounds. I don't think you have a chance.
And I like when they went back to regroup, he was actually the stretch man as a defenseman at the far blue line.
Bogosian's long wrister, no worries for Varlamov, and he puts the rebound out of play. We played 6:23 of period 2. Alex Ovechkin looking for that first goal against Zach Bogosian in Atlanta. Amazingly so, the guys and gals in the truck have found some Thompson Creek windows of opportunity for the Capitals.
The best one in the first, Hendricks to Johansson. Nice try on the deep. Pavlik closes the door. OV, same situation, catching glove. And then in this period, moments ago, Matt Bradley, after Green fires it at the net, Brads just couldn't collect and put enough power behind that one. 3 quality chances so far for the Caps.
6.5 minutes down into the second period. At center ice, Atlanta here at home in the blue. It's Bergfors and Oduya teaming up.
Man, they want Oduya and Big Byfuglien always out there when Backstrom and Ovechkin and Chimera are on the ice. That's the matchup I think they're looking for, and Ramsey's trying to make quick changes to get that pair on the ice.
Ladd lost the handle. Backstrom pouncing on it for Chimera. He tried to make one more to Ovechkin. That was ill-advised. It's 4-on-3 the other way. Good back check by Chimera. Floats it back ahead. John Carlson forcing the Thrashers to regroup. Peverley on the dump down. Alsner will turn with it. Thrashers completing a line change. Backstrom zigzags through center. Nicholas Backstrom on the move. Toe drags around Hainsey. Backstrom hits the brakes. Little was there with him. A centering pass off of Pavlik, and the netminder will dive out to cover. 7:31 gone by. No score here in Atlanta. Busy night on a Wednesday around the NHL. Some other games at the top of your screen. Boston with a 2-0 advantage. The Islanders and Carolina are level at 1 apiece. In the middle frame, Detroit. Goal by Darren Helm and a 1-1 score with the Devils. Dallas has an Adam Burish strike and a 1-0 advantage over Edmonton. Caps control this face-off. David Steckel working the wall with Boyd Gordon. Round and round they go. Steckel squirts it free, and Pavlik will take no chances.
And with a Carolina win and an Atlanta loss to the Caps, Carolina would go into the break 1 point up on Craig Ramsey's hockey club.
Tampa Bay Lightning in the midst of that monstrous 12-game homestand. They're idle this evening. Guy Boucher's squad has won the first 2, I believe, of 12 in succession at home. Green fanned on that dump in. We near the 8-minute mark of the second period. Schultz on target for Boyd Gordon, and then he puts the puck into the souvenir seats. Folks, Caps fans have sold out 87 straight at Verizon Center. There are some tickets available, limited numbers. Tuesday, Feb 1, the first game after the break, it's Montreal, and then Super Sunday against Pittsburgh. Yes, there are some tickets still available. 202-397-SEAT to get yours. Ondrej Pavelec leaving the comforts of the crease to play it here. Around for Hainsey. Booted on. Lost in the high slot for a moment, and then Thorburn. For Anthony Stewart. Peppered it off the boards, trying to send in Little. Brian Little carving into the attack territory. Looking for help. Hainsey. Long slapper on the way, blocked by Marcus Johansson. Thorburn speed to the slot. That was rejected by Schultz. Point position Bogosian. He can fire it. It's deflected high and out of play by Matt Hendricks.
Yeah, good play by Hendricks, making sure he got in that shooting channel. Good pressure by this line against the Washington Capitals. There's a look at their young defenseman that's been in and out this season. Zach Bogosian comes from a football family. I think his brother and his dad played at Syracuse. Now he's the big rig defenseman for this hockey team, and suffering through some slumps, as I mentioned in the first period, but has a good upside.
Always offensive during his junior days. In fact, he was a team leader in scoring in the Ontario Junior Hockey League back in 07-08. Maybe the only D to lead his team in scoring. He played with Peterborough. Every time I say that, I think of that line in Slapshot. Dave's a killer.
Yeah.
Why are you not in the lineup? I got a cold in the Peterborough game.
And his brother plays, I think he went the college route. I think he plays at St. Lawrence in ECAC hockey. So two different families, two different siblings pick different routes to their hockey careers.
Peverly taps. Stewart moves on the drop for Rich Peverly. Finessed it around Beagle, who makes the takeaway. Matthew Perreault with a lift check. Perreault 85 in white as we near the midway mark, and Matthew has a seat. Scott Hannon shuffling back through center. Check that that's Carl Alsner working in back with Hannon, as both of those blue liners are in the midst of a change. It's Ladd on for Bergfors, and then Bufflin, who slams in from center. Chimera, given a nudge from the blind side by Ladd. Backstrom feeds for Jason Chimera. Carving to the middle on the crisscross with Carlson. Alsner lets it go. Pad save by Pavelec.
That missed pass actually worked out fine for Chimera with the defenseman sneaking in.
Again, he meant to do that. Oduya straight ahead. You're not a believer.
No.
Ladd towards the goal. Routine save for Semyon Varlamov. Backstrom on out to Ovechkin. Full blast through center. Carlson joining him on the rush. Ovechkin to the goal mouth. That was blocked by the defender, who slid down. It was Johnny Oduya. Ladd lifts it back on for Burmistrov. Arm in arm with Green. They go right to the boards. It's touched up for an icing call against Atlanta.
The Atlanta Thrashers would like to welcome our guest.
This Washington team now 27-14-9. 9 in that shootout and overtime loss category. But as a result, Bruce Boudreau's team keeps picking up points.
Only Vancouver better than Boudreau's bunch since December 19th when it comes to points percentage. Vancouver 7-6-3, the Caps 7-1-9. Tampa, Philadelphia, and Anaheim, all teams that have done very well since mid-December.
Two teams second and third place respectively in the Southeast. Washington and Atlanta squaring off tonight at the NHL level. We're inside of Phillips Arena. The NHL on Comcast Sportsnet tonight. Coming up very soon, the American Hockey League All-Star Classic.
I pumped for this. Skills competition Sunday, January 30th at 3 o'clock up in Hershey. Then Monday, we'll have the call right here on Comcast Sportsnet, a 7 o'clock tilt. The AHL All-Star Game. These are the players of the NHL. It's the future of the NHL. A lot of young stars and old players alike. There's a 37-year-old. There's Claude Giroux, who's 29. And they've got a real lot of good players playing in that game.
You didn't mean Claude Giroux, did you?
No.
Long wrist shot stop, follow-up chance there, backhanded wide.
I just
by
threw that
Brooks
out there
Light.
to hear if you were listening.
Well, Mr. Correction's always listening, although he won't be listening to you that weekend because you cut me out of that telecast.
Yes, I did.
Very nice of you to do that. Yeah, super. Yeah, the whole team's going to be there. Where's JoJo? Not available,
You're
I
on
guess.
assignment.
No, I'm not on assignment, you rat fink. Back to point position. Kept there by Bogosian and ran back in from center.
Well, Mike Emmerich will be alongside Joe.
Yeah,
one of our
do.
very fine colleagues.
He'll do. Green moseying in. Johansson, wrister, pad save, rebound was juicy and Light could not get his blade on it. Modine driving after Schultz. Frederick Modine makes a takeaway. Antropov walks in and scores. Nick Antropov.
The puck has been bouncing like crazy in this hockey game. Look at this weird bounce. It bounces. It doesn't allow Big Schultz to control the puck. There's the pass and there's the finish. Just nothing you can do there. The pressure by Freddie Modine. He hooks up Antropov, who sails in, and he rips it even with the challenging goalie. So the first bounce goes Atlanta's way here tonight at Phillips Arena.
Thrashers calling that timeout to rest a weary bunch after an icing call and then converting shortly thereafter. Antropov's ninth. Modine with a primary assist at 11:21. Just the second goal of the month for big number 80, who has 7 points against Washington this year in 6 games.
Yeah, they'd like more offense. Remember last year, 24 goals, but Antropov spent much of the offseason with that hip injury and hip surgery, and he hasn't been the same. Those are the type of shots you need by big Nick Antropov, the former Toronto Maple Leaf for the majority of his career.
Antropov, 12th season of professional hockey in North America, native of Kazakhstan. Hannon dodging the efforts of Thorburn, who powers him into the boards. 5-on-5 play continues, 8:14 to go in period 2. Back behind the net, it's David Steckel giving some ground, and Meyer puts a bear hug on him. Steckel protecting the biscuit well. Hannon will switch it up for Erskine. Erskine's long wrister booted away by Andrei Pavlik. He had some company at the top of the crease. It was Boyd Gordon looking for the screen or the deflection. Bounced loose. Hannon will activate in from a point position. Sopel is there to defuse that for Atlanta, as the Thrashers will play clear. Slowly and deliberately. Freddie Meyer. Bum rush by Bradley, who was heavily to the boards. Backstrom fires. He missed the mark. Alsner to Ovechkin. Dancing with it in the high slot. Winds, then fires. Kicked out of there by Pavlik. He made a good pad save. Ovechkin's rebound attempt also thwarted and covered up by the netminder. 12:41 gone by. Some pushing and shoving. One last meeting between these two division rivals. And for the moment, Atlanta has the lead. Antropov getting the congratulations on CSN. Here in Atlanta, where 3-time 20-goal scorer Nick Antropov has given the locals the lead, it's 1-0 Thrashers after this.
And here's the bad bounce. First of all, Hannon can't collect it, or that's Knuble. Then watch the bad bounce right there that bounces over the stick of Schultz. That's allowed Modine to poke check it, and here comes Antropov, who just rifles it top corner. That's the only goal of this game on a lucky bounce that goes the home team's way.
Icing call against the Thrashers, who are playing the first of 3 straight at home before and after the All-Star break, and Antropov continues to explain how he got the job done.
Yeah, talking with the guys on the bench, there's his 9th goal. That's something that they're looking for. They need some goals from a guy that's 6'6".
Alsner delivers this one for Chimera, fencing with Johnny Oduya. Ladd coughed it up. Backstrom's wrister was blocked. Beverly was in that shooting channel. Ovechkin stepping back behind the net. Alex Ovechkin to the front. Backstrom there. That one hit the traffic in front. It looked like it was set up perfectly. Bergfors keeping it along the boards. Trundling it back to center. Beverly on the move. pass to flat-footed Backstrom, who still managed to make the hook check. Byfuglien racing in. Dustin Byfuglien works wide. To the front, blocked away. Ladd on the retrieval. Long slapper coming. Ooh, high there and wide of the mark. Byfuglien follows. Pad save Varlamov, and the rebound swing and a miss. Bergfors had the latest opportunity.
That was a layup. He had the whole 6x4. Good passing play, and they don't finish. That could cost them. Mark that one down.
This will squirt through Bergfors back to center. Meyer rams it in. Burmistrov is onside. Varlamov the save. He punched it away with a blocker. Meyer one-hands it along the dasher, and this will pop 5 rows into the seats. 5:53 left in the second period. Antropov for Modine and Hainsey, and the boys in blue have the lead. A low-scoring contest in Atlanta where the Thrashers have a 1-0 advantage. The American Service Center Caps fact, the Caps have young goalies, and lots of them are productive.
It's probably good in one way, but not so good in another, that they need some guy to grab the bull by the horns. First team in history to have 3 goalies with 4 or more wins. And all these guys 22 years of age or younger. They have got a stable of NHL goaltenders in the organization of Washington.
Grab the bull by the horns.
Yes.
I just don't think
and run with it.
I still think that would be a very compromising position for you. I don't think you have the upper hand there. I still like the Bulls' chances, is what I'm saying. Perreault on the feet ahead for Brooks Light. Bogosian there. Beagle back to point position. Schultz along wrister. Flailed high and wide. Perreault back to point position to Green. There's Light. Protecting it on his backhand. Schultz at the midpoint fires. That's deflected wide as well. Just over 5 minutes separating us from NetStar 1 Intermission Live. Nick Antropov has the lone goal. It's 1-0 Atlanta. Loose in front for Beagle. He was dumped. Light then fires a stick save for Pavlik. Caps are going to the power play. Varlamov on his way to the bench as the Caps will skate 5-on-4.
Yeah, good work by the Brooks Light line, making sure they took the puck aggressively to the net. It causes a tripping minor, and then Brooks was actually hooked by Burmistrov here. He would have had a chance. Here it is coming out of the corner. There's the trip on the trailing guy coming in, Freddie Modine. He gets the original penalty. At the end of that sequence, Brooks Light may have had the best chance in this period, but a nice check by Burmistrov coming back to support thwarted that opportunity.
We mentioned Washington swept Atlanta last year, took all 6. The power play was so productive. This year in 6 games, 1 for 18, including tonight. Power play stats are packaged by the UPS store. Green sets in. Keeps it on the outside for Hendricks. Backstrom is rooted in front. Nicholas Backstrom then peels off to play this. Around for Green. Nice moves around Peverly. Hendricks helping for Backstrom. And then Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin to the point position to Carlson. Green steps and fires, and Pavlik squeezed it. It went right through the leg pads and wide. Carlson for Green once more. Carlson's wrister deflected. It hit traffic in front. Oduya and Sopel in front of Pavlik. John Carlson for Mike Green. Backdoor look for Ovechkin. Shouldered there by Ladd. Green 30 feet away to the interior. Ovechkin denied with Hendricks hoping for the tip. Good puck movement here. Possession game belongs to Washington. Green another toe drag to the slot. Hendricks loose in front. Ovechkin didn't deposit it yet. Backstrom fans waits. Swing and a miss Ovechkin. It's a matter of time now. Backstrom to Ovechkin. He fans again. And Peverly will clear.
Man, are they lucky. It's just been really the story this season on this power play. That would have been in 30 seconds ago, and now they leave the zone without a goal. That should have been a layup in front. And remember, Alan May was talking to us in the pregame show, Joe, talking about dumbing down the power play. Well, there you saw 2 guys in front, Hendricks and Backstrom, and it became a shooting power play that they generated scoring chances off of.
15 seconds left in the man advantage. Washington still skating 5-on-4 in the white sweaters. Along the boards, Knuble taps it on back. Alzner will switch it up. Long wrister coming here, knocked down. Green sent it on the way. Bogosian with a block. Little finds it at his feet. and he'll clear it all the way to Semyon Varlamov.
Mike Green has had his best hands he's had in a while. His curl and drag, second to none, 4 times in this period that created scoring chances. I hope that pays off for him when it comes to creating offense the rest of this hockey game.
2.5 to go in period 2. Atlanta still with the only strike in this game until now. Knuble puts it off the outside. A little help from Pavlik. Back behind the cage, there's Johansson. Once more to Knuble, to the front. And it's Pavlik who will squeeze. Washington a few moments ago on the power play with plenty of chances.
And we'll start with Mike Green sneaking in. Watch this curl and drag, and then the shot right off the goaltender's 7-hole and out the other side. Great opportunity. As the power play moves around, they got the PKers scrambling, and that's a good sign for the power play. Sopel playing knee hockey, I think, got a piece of that Ovechkin opportunity, and then Mike Knuble just seconds ago. That doesn't skitter 5-hole. Nicely closed down by Pavlik.
Capitals up to 18 shots in this period, 26 for the game unofficially with 2:19 to go in the second. Mike Knuble back in this building where earlier in the campaign he sustained that jaw injury, hit by a shot of currently injured winger Eric Fehr. Antropov going to beat Varlamov to it. A spinning backhand from Bolton went wide. Burmistrov cradles it to the slot. Varlamov makes the blocker pad save. 1:53 to go in the second as Hannon is ready to set sail. Scott Hannon right up the gut. Turnover. Anthony Stewart the other way. Stewart delays, then fires. Pad save Varlamov. Thorburn also rejected by the goalie stick this time. Oduya. Switch it up. Bufflin fires. That's routine. Stewart is there. Mauled by Erskine. 80 seconds left in the period. Little continues the cycle. Twists it on for Thorburn. David Steckel in good shape defensively. He'll win the battle for Washington. Steckel glides uncontested through center. Throws it off of Bufflin. Backstrom is there, guarded by Little.
There is 1 minute remaining.
Alsner will connect with Carlson at center. On the rewind for the Caps. Under a minute to go in the second. Backstrom working in 3 abreast at the line. Ovechkin racing for the net. Carlson in a point position. Alsner for Carlson. There's Ovechkin who went off the heel of his blade. Backstrom absorbs the hit from Peverley. Backstrom to the front. Carlson fires. That didn't get through. Bergfors skipping back through center for Atlanta. Drifting wide. Varlamov the pad save, and he'll cover up.
Good save there on a sharp angle shot. Bergfors trying to sneak in. Bergfors had an earlier opportunity with a wide open net. This one, he stalled at the blue line because of the back checker, and that forces him wide, which I would call a pretty routine save. Bergfors, one of the key components when they made a couple of deals. Didn't he come over, Joe, on the Kovalchuk deal? Bergfors?
He did.
Yeah.
He was part of the package.
Along with Cormier, who's also playing tonight. So they're getting some decent bang for the buck. He's a young and upcoming forward for this hockey team.
Patrice Cormier, 20-year-old whose name I've barely called, if at all, tonight. Antropov's pass is thieved by Matthew Perreault. Perreault with a good skating speed down the wing. Beagle is there, but this is offside against Washington with 7.1 to go in the middle period.
Yeah, we haven't talked too much about Cormier, but remember, he got hit early on by Mike Green right at the Capitals bench, and he hasn't seen a whole lot of ice since. Bruce Boudreau again looking on, trying to see where the offense is coming from. Once again, they'll have to play comeback in the third period on the road here in Atlanta.
Bruce was hoping his team would get the win, hoping those good vibrations would carry right on through during the All-Star break. If so, the Caps are going to need a third period rally to do it against Andrei Pavlik, Nick Antropov, and the Atlanta Thrashers. It was Antropov's tally, set up by Modine and Hainsey at 11:21, sending white-sweatered Washington off to the dressing room, down by 1. Netstar 1 Intermission Live is coming up. Sportsnet Central in just a few moments. Locker chit-chats with one of the Caps. And then it's highlights and stats, as always, on the menu between periods 2 and 3. Atlanta once again keeping Washington in check. Their defense has been good. Their goaltending has been just fine. And a strike from Antropov has the locals on the lead. Back to the studio now. Here's Julie Donaldson. This Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Capitals hockey is being brought to you by Morgan Franklin, your partners for long-lasting business and technology solutions. The Palm Restaurant, entered to be the Palm Fan of the Month at thepalm.com/fan. You can win dinner at the Palm and more. And by Sport Automotive, Chevrolet and Honda. Be a sport fan too. Visit sportautomotive.com. Atlanta, Georgia, host city for the '96 Olympic Games. We are inside of Phillips Arena tonight, where the Thrashers hold a 1-0 advantage over Washington. It's the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Joe Beninati and Craig Laughlin with you tonight. Tomorrow it'll be Michael Regai, Ron Thompson, and Junior Burrow. Yes, there are plenty of Ovechkin fans in attendance hoping to see the Great Eight light the lamp. Maryland and Virginia collide. ACC men's basketball from Charlottesville tomorrow on Comcast Sportsnet, a 7 o'clock start.
Maryland 12-7. Joe beat 2-3 in the division. Won both the meetings last year. But beware Virginia. They're 17-1 when they score at least 70 points. So they better keep them off the board tomorrow night.
Word from the athletic department in Charlottesville that the Terps were supposed to make their way down there tonight, weather permitting. So that game's pretty much good to go tomorrow inside of John Paul Jones Arena. We continue in the third now, and Washington starts the threat, looking to come back from a 1-goal deficit. Shoes on the other foot from the other night when Washington had a 1-0 lead in the third, and the Rangers caught them and eventually beat them in a shootout. Little is dropped. Referees say play on. Tim Peel and Francois St. Laurent. Hear it from the Phillips Arena crowd. Green's been skating very well, stick handling effectively tonight. Draws it away from Oduya, who gets help from Peverly, and Bergfors will chip it back onto the Washington side.
Well, we'll see if Atlanta continues with the stifling defense. The 1-2-2 and the 4-minute cross in the neutral zone has worked through 40 minutes. We'll see if they can still have that structure.
Ovechkin rumbles in, blasts one right to Pavlik, who makes another stick save. 27 stops and counting for Andrei Pavlik, who made a season-high 45 earlier in the year against Washington. Ladd feeds, Byfuglien fires, he just missed. That was a chance to pad the lead for the Thrashers with a puck on the stick of the highest goal-scoring defender in the business.
And a shot of over 100 miles an hour for Big Buff. He can let her fly. Fortunately for the Caps, that just whistled wide by about 12 inches.
Andrew Ladd, gritty, gutsy. The captain for the Thrashers coming back off the injured list for this one tonight.
Now, he's their leading scorer among forwards with 16 goals, tied with Byfuglien.
Pretty much the best lad I've seen since Cheryl. God, I loved her.
I always think he's a bad lad, but I did love Cheryl Ladd also.
Yeah, I figured you'd join me in that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Linda Laughlin, viewing at home.
You liked all the Angels, didn't you?
Okay, let's do it. If you've got time, we might in this game. Yeah. Jacqueline Smith.
Farrah Fawcett.
Good. Perreault in at the line. Works of Tanya Roberts. Is it stopped there by Pavlik? I'm the king of the Angels.
How about this big Byfuglien slap shot? Here it is coming right at you. Watch him whistle this baby. Oh. He was going blocker side. We got to slow it down to just see how little that missed by getting past that blocker.
Hard shooting Dustin Byfuglien, just 1 goal in January. Still has the lead for all NHL rear guards.
Yeah, his stepfather actually played in the NHL and the WHA way back when. No goals recently, but this year he's changed his stick a little bit. Went like Tobias Enstrom did, followed his lead, went to a longer stick. So when he takes this shot, he's much like Al Iafrate was for the Caps, using an extended stick so you get more torque and more power, and it's paid off for number 33.
Atlanta without Evander Kane tonight, who scored 5 times against the Caps this year. Jimmy Slater on the list, and then Toby Enstrom, the defender you made mention. Washington down by 1 on the road in Atlanta. Without Alex Semin, Burmistrov's blast is blocked. No Eric Fair or Tom Poti, Tyler Sloan or Michael Neubert available. Pavlik against Varlamov in the net-minding matchup. Awkwardly down to the deck goes Boyd Gordon. 5-on-5 play continues. There have not been a lot of power play chances tonight either way.
And that last shot stung Erskine on his right hand. Went quickly to the bench. We'll see if he can return.
Ovechkin's pass blocked off of the shins of Bergfors. Thrashers will hit the rewind button. Byfuglien on the long lead. Peverley out there now for Atlanta. Chimera in, just a bit anxious, offside on the rush. Morgan Franklin pivotal play. It's the lone tally on the night.
And it's a lucky bounce. There's a big double nickel. Schultz can't control. Modine to Antropov. Both Knuble and Mike Green were caught. They couldn't move out. There was not much they could do. The Caps were in rewind mode, and they got the bounce they were looking for. It's been stifling D from the drop of the puck here tonight in Atlanta.
Carl Alsner sends it out there for Chimera. Chimera, Ovechkin, and Backstrom still assembled for Washington coach Bruce Boudreau. Ladd loops it ahead. Alsner will fetch for Washington. Nobody there on the breakout chip for Carlson. Thorburn hoists it in. Varlamov will tee it up. Backstrom swings out of his own zone. Nicholas Backstrom gliding through center. Down the wing again, and this is offside. I heard a whistle, I'm sure. Jason Chimera did not, as Thorburn comes over to whisper in his ears.
And no room whatsoever on that attack. The Atlanta Thrashers, once again, Joe, 5 guys across. And the only way you're not going to disrupt the play is by chipping it in. This last play, here's the whistle.
Jason Chimera staring daggers at Chris Thorburn. Normally, guys will come over and want a word with you after you take a slap shot after the whistle, not a backhand deke. Bogosian's pass on through Anthony Stewart back onto the Washington side. Green will capture. Mike Green, an all-star game co-captain, so he'll be involved in the drafting procedures for Team Stahl and Team Lidstrom.
I think it's just going to be just like the NHL drafts young players. You know, they're going to make a list up. They're going to talk about it. If one player goes, they'll have a next guy on their list. Greeny's looking forward to it, he told us this morning.
Ovechkin might hit him if he doesn't pick it.
Yeah.
Mike Green looking ahead for Hendricks. Waits at the line, throws one off of Bogosian.
I wonder if they'll make any trades at the table. Hey, you just got that pick. I'll trade you second and third. If you give me first, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting affair.
Well, there'll be plenty of guys with some cash in the room if you want to sweeten the pot. Play to the boards and out. All-star festivities at RBC Center in Raleigh this year. Bergfors closing. Makes the nice pass inside Peverley on the deke. Sprawling Varlamov get help there from Green. Knuble drives back to center and dumps it in so that the Caps can make a line change. 5.5 gone by in the third. It's still 1-0 Atlanta if you're just tuning in with us. Nick Antropov, the only goal in the contest, his 9th of the year, 11:21 of the second.
The only cycle of this game happened in the first period for the Caps. That's how much Atlanta has locked them down in this hockey game. And I guess coming off a 7-1 whitewashing the other night for Atlanta against Tampa Bay, and they've just hunkered down. And this is going to be tough sledding for the Caps unless they get it in deep and do some dirty work.
Tampa Bay, it's amazing. They've beaten Atlanta 11 straight times. On the long outlet for Antropov. Crisscrossing at the line. Modine was unsuspecting. Bounce free to Beagle. John Carlson with some get up and go. Puts it back to center. Hainsey's dump in, hit the linesman. Burmistrov wriggling free along the boards. Thorburn's going to have to wait. They reload for Bogosian. Sends it right to the blocker pad of Varlamov. 5-on-5 continues. 6.5 minutes gone in the third. 27-20 now. Shots on goal favoring Washington. Ovechkin down the wing, and Thorburn was right in his skating path. Little busting it down the flank. Brian Little kept to the outside by Scott Hannon. Byfuglien jumps in. Dustin Byfuglien. Toe drag move, not fooling Backstrom. To the interior. Chimera was in good shape. Working back on a counterattack, he dribbles it to Pavlik, who will take the whistle here. Atlanta still one better than Washington. Plenty of time left in this third period. We'll have you back to Phillips right after these words. Here comes the Ovechkin, presented by Ameritel, your hometown place for copiers.
Came flying out of the tunnel, a couple of good shots in warm-up, but he's really been held in check. Tripped up there by Ladd, led to a power play opportunity, but his stick lets him down. Best chance came with the extra man as he rotated the top of the circle, faked the shot, then took one step and ripped it. Between LeCavalier and Ovechkin, they have torched Atlanta more than anybody else. Coming into this game, 30 goals apiece. So it looks like if you're going to get on the board, it might be the grade 8 that ties this one up.
These two teams met in early December back at Verizon Center. Ovechkin had the only goal in what turned out to be an Atlanta 3-1 win. So the Thrashers can win the season series tonight. They have taken 3 of the first 5 from Washington. Backstrom through center. Will clear it in deep. Byfuglien turns to fetch. Ovechkin throws him to the glass. Schultz sends it back behind that net. Byfuglien will reverse the flow. Oduya is there, bothered by Green. Johnny Oduya staying strong on his stick. Bergfors 3 abreast the attacking line with Ladd. Coming late, it's Peverly to the backside. Byfuglien off the post.
Yeah, there when they have a chance, they definitely still want to jump up in the play. Byfuglien's been all over the place. He's like a roving defenseman. You've got to pick him up.
Ovechkin one-on-one against Meyer. Fires. It's a pad save for Pavlik.
And Meyer took a little bit of chunk off of the speed of that shot, which slowed it down for Pavlik to kick out that left pad.
11:40 to go, regulation time. Caps have had a couple of power plays in this game. No Sale. Just one power play goal for them in their last 8 outings overall, and now they're going to be shorthanded. Referee Saint Laurent finding the holding call. Thompson Creek window of opportunity just a few moments ago for Big Buff.
Mike Green goes down. There's the curl and drag. Backhand to Big Buff going to the net. Brings it off the side of the post. Great opportunity for the Thrash to get a 2-goal lead against the Caps. They go to a power play with a holding call doled out to Matt Bradley.
First 5 games against Washington, Atlanta 3 for 15 on the man up. Matt Bradley boxed in. An important kill now for Semyon Varlamov and the Capital Penalty Killers. Atlanta in the top 10 in terms of power play. Washington second best on the circuit penalty killing wise. They've nullified 22 of the last 23.
Only Pittsburgh better when it comes to effectiveness with the extra, without the extra man killing penalties. This Thrasher power play on home, excellent.
Byfuglien bombs away. That's deflected by Knubel off of the rink. Caps fans, listen up. Call 1-800-XFINITY right now. Bruce Boudreau wants you to do that. Ask about the Xfinity Triple Play. It features the best in on-demand. You can now watch on your TV and online. Still better than 11 minutes with which to work in this third period. Atlanta skating 5-on-4 in the blue jerseys. Long blast. Byfuglien stopped by Varlamov.
Good save there. Antropov broke his stick. Some alumni action coming up for this Washington Capitals. Joe. Hockey for Hope as we look at this last opportunity. Alumni event February 19th. It's at the Gardens Ice House, 5 o'clock. A $10 recommended donation for Bondra, Langway, Lane, LeBray, Cote autographs. Call Carmela Hanksleben 301-440-4703 for more info.
Give the number again.
301-440-4703. And we're going to try to bring you up to date as it gets closer to the date. It's February 19th. It's going to be a great event.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Moving towards the midway mark of this third period. Varlamov let it come through. Ladd switching it up back on top for Byfuglien. Halfway through the Atlanta power play. Oduya managed to keep it in. Playing catch with Bergfors around Matt Hendricks. Oduya shovels to the corner. Ladd, skip a man for Byfuglien. Winds and fires, patted down by Varlamov. He got that with a glove. And Marcus Johansson sprints to safety and then clears.
And Greg Ramsey was talking to us this morning. Yeah, they have Bufflin back there, and they can use Aduya and guys like that. But the constant for this team this year on their success has been Tobias Enstrom. He's a real controlling defenseman when it comes to the power play, and he's been missed when they do get the extra man.
So much composure, Craig Ramsey would speak of. Back behind the play, Ladd and Erskine were together, and there's a slashing call coming here.
And that's a dumb penalty by the captain. He two-handed Erskine over his stick, broke it in half, and that's just not a smart play. And now Craig Ramsey's going to say, come on, boys, we can't take penalties like that. The Capitals will have a power play in 23 seconds, which could tie up this hockey game.
4-on-4, as you said, for 23 seconds, just past the midway mark, and Ladd upset with himself.
Didn't he say that was stupid?
He did.
That's how I read his lips there, and that's exactly what I just said. Not the penalty you want to take from your captain, who's a real class guy and a real great leader for this hockey team.
Thorburn revving it up down the wing for Atlanta. Chip and chase to himself. Alsner keeping him company right in front of the handheld camera. That's always nice. Hey, Carl, can I get an autograph? Autograph, please. Matthew Perreault spins with it. Ovechkin on ice. Power play stats are packaged by the UPS store. Third advantage now for Washington. Ovechkin to the front for Brooks Lycan right on through. Green keeps it. Lyk funnels for Backstrom. He finds Ovechkin. Like inside, blocked, rebound loose. Backstrom's backhand denied by Pavlik. The long legs of the Thrasher goalie coming to the rescue.
From up here, it also looked like the defenseman just about put his hand on the puck in the crease there. And that's what Alex is maybe talking to the referee about. And that's what I thought happened to that left post. Here's the last flurry. Ovechkin into the soft area for Brooks Lyk. Watch Bogosian, Hack, Green and Backstrom who are sneaking in. And watch the man on the left side as Lyk jumps on top of the pile. Very close for grabbing the puck in the crease, which would have meant a penalty shot for this Capitals team.
30 more saves for Ondrej Pavlik, who in this regular season series against Washington has been outstanding. And if you have a long memory, you think back to season opening night in this building, and it was Pavlik before the game was 3 minutes old who had that fainting spell.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great story here in Atlanta because he is their #1 guy, the goalie of the future. Against the Caps, the goals against under 1, and coming in, Joe, 9.78 when it came to save percentage against this Capitals team.
That's not bad. That's better than fair. Lyk on top for Green. 42 seconds in the power play. Carlson, drive, just missed it. Lyk was looking for a rebound or a deflection there. Only Thomas Vanek of Buffalo with more power play goals than Ovechkin in the last 5 years. He could use one now. Off to the corner, it's golf but not out. Alex Ovechkin has it. Changing sides for Green. A saucer pass on through Backstrom. 20 seconds on the power play. Carlson for Green. John Carlson stubbed that pass. Mike Green on the wing, gave it up. Oduya goes to the glass but not out. One-time pass from Carlson to Ovechkin. He sent it wide. Lyk again causing a commotion in front. Good puck retrieval there by Backstrom. Green closing in. Thrashers back to full strength. Rister on the way. Dumped wide by Lyk. Follow-up chance. Oh! Pavlik makes the pad save practically on the goal line, and then it triggers a melee in the crease. All the frustrations of the Washington Capitals power play being vented there. Green with a long wrister. Everybody crowding the net, and Ondrej Pavlik has it beneath the glove. For ice-cold refreshment here, tonight's Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment. A goal from Nick Antropov.
I told you it was going to be a goal.
Told you it might be the only goal.
Yep, lucky bounce, Modine, Antropov, everybody just watching because they were in a rewind situation. The lucky bounce goes Antropov's and his team's way, and that's where we are with OV just missing on that last power play.
Let's hope it's not the only goal, and that Washington has at least one up its sleeves. 7:40 left in the third period. Hainsey having some issues. Johansson To the front there for Erskine on a backhand. Chipped wide by Matt Hendricks. Johansson's stuff attempt erased by Hainsey. From his knees, he'll ice the puck.
Hainsey, one of the best shot blockers on that hockey team, as OV on the bench. Maybe it was an extended shift, but he was also cross-checked in front of the net on that last power play that he had. After we went to break, there was still a little bit of a commotion, and it finally spread out. But OV still bent over at that bench, which is not a good sign.
Alex Ovechkin, those huge numbers against the Thrashers in his season career, now 5+. Just approaching 7 minutes to go in regulation tonight. The Antropov strike still stands up for Atlanta. Like maneuvers in, poke check by big number 80. Alsner giving ground. Picking up Perreault through center. Matthew Perreault, it's been a difficult first month of 2011 for 85 in the white. Centering pass, bang, bang play. Pavlik made the stop there. Brooks Laich was dangerous. Mike Green fires. That's deflected wide as a Thrasher defenseman was sent soaring. This is going to be Laich for interference, I believe.
Yep, he got the man right in front of the net. That was Sopel. Cross-checked him and pushed him out of the way. The referee standing right to the right side of the net. An interference called. You nailed it, Joe. And the Caps trying to generate net presence and net pressure. So Boudreau's team with that minor penalty, a huge penalty kill here, has Laich will have a seat.
Last game in the month of January for the Washington Capitals. They've won 5 times this month. Atlanta has won 3. Power play stats are packaged by the UPS store. Just the second man advantage for Atlanta on the night. Underneath this roof at Phillips Arena, the Thrashers are 19.8% effective. Byfuglien has 6 game-winning goals this year. 3 of those in overtime. 6
power plays to go along with that, and this does not look like a team from up here that has lost 7 of their last 8 games. They've played a very technically sound hockey game against the visitors and Alex Ovechkin.
Good sign. Ovechkin has that chin strap buttoned up. Seems like he'll be ready to go for his next shift, whenever that will be, from head coach Bruce Boudreau.
Well, we've had some great finishes here. When the Caps have been down, they find a way to get points, and they need one. You want to feel good about yourself going to this breakup coming.
Oduya slams it in from center. Dustin Byfuglien's the first man to it. Brushed it towards Peverley, but that was picked up by Schultz. He'll send it all the way. Oduya turns the net. Beagle and Chimera penalty killing for Washington, along with Hannon and Erskine, protecting Semyon Varlamov. Atlanta leads by the slimmest of margins. It's 1-0 still. Erskine on the boards, lobbing it high over the head of Byfuglien. Jay Beagle will put some heat on the big defender, forcing Pavlik to swing it around. Beagle makes the takeaway. Anthony Stewart comes to call on him. Oduya on for Antropov, 2-on-2 through center with Brian Little. Little hits the brakes. Byfuglien walks in and drives. Pad save Varlamov.
That was a beauty right there, kicking out that left pad. Byfuglien was wide open. I really think, though, that Little was going rink wide, and Byfuglien just got in the center lane, picked it up off his skate and let her go. Didn't get a lot of power behind it because he was on his back foot, Joe.
4 in the scrum. Locker to the right of Varlamov. Hainsey manages to keep it in. Bogosian. Long wrister deflected, and Varlamov a big save there on Little. Keeping it 1-0 for Atlanta. Washington Capitals after the All-Star break. Hadid shows us the road ahead.
That'll be Tuesday, February 1st against the Montreal Canadiens. It'll be a 7:30 start. Last time they met, Beagle, Green, and OV did the damage. The Caps won 3-0 at Tampa Bay. That's a big showdown on a Friday night. And then Super Bowl Sunday. Our national friends at NBC will cover the Caps versus the Pens.
Did I see a release? They're turning back the clock for that February 1st game, Montreal. You and Al Coken will have the call on that one. Caps are wearing their Winter Classic jerseys at home.
Yep, and they'll also honor Dino Ciccarelli, who just went into the Hockey Hall of Fame, had some good years as a Washington Capital. That's the type of presence you need. He was so good from the dots to the net. I don't think you can think of guys now in this day and age. And Thomas Holmstrom, who played the same way, number 22, will be honored that evening.
Bufflin keeps it on the boards. Washington back to full strength. Brooks Laich out of the box. Long wrister there knocked down. Chimera tied up by Oduya. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left. Washington needs one to tie. Look out. Oduya had some issues with the referee there.
And he gave him the what for.
Ovechkin took his eyes off of it, didn't pull the trigger in time. Modine one-hands it ahead. Burmistrov beaten to the punch by Mike Green. The youngster keeps Green company back behind the net. Burmistrov doing a nice job of ragging some time away. Backstrom sends it out there for Ovechkin. On for Knuble. Mike Knuble, the veteran winger, throwing a paw at Bogosian. Sets it up in the corner for Ovechkin. Burmistrov right there to run him to the ditch. Knuble fires. It's armed away by Pavlik. Save number 33. Little scampers back through center. His pass is too strong for Ladd. Just more than 3 minutes left in regulation time. NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Joe and Craig with you down the stretch. So glad you've tuned in, and so many thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew tonight here at Phillips Arena. Johansson's pass back to point position. Carlson with good moves. John Carlson's backhander deflected away by Brent Sopel. Johansson straight away for Hannon. One-timer Johansson rejected in front. It was Meyer doing the trick, and Peverly sends it on out. Gets away from Stewart. It's a foot race now. Hannon using his body to get there. Makes the touch-up, and it's an icing call against Atlanta.
Good hustle there by Hannon. Face-off so important now, and you want to make sure that seconds don't click off, giving the Caps a chance against Craig Ramsey's team. Bruce Boudreau probably has a few plays up his sleeve right now. Face-offs last year, if you remember, Joe, generated a ton of scoring opportunities. Brooks will take this face-off, hoping to chip it back to the point man.
Rich Peverly earlier in the day, he said, we have our sights set on Washington. We want to work to frustrate them tonight. Well, have they ever? This Washington team scoring nowhere near their expectations, in jeopardy of being shut out again. Keep an eye on Varlamov with 2:20 to go in regulation. Atlanta has taken 3 of the first 5 from Washington. This is the end of the regular season schedule between these two. Hainsey sends it on around and out. Alsner glides back to get it. Both teams changing personnel. 2 minutes to go in the third. Alsner slams it in. Chimera gets there first. John Carlson, wrister on the way, blocked. Backstrom circles out of the corner. Calls his own number, sent it wide. John Carlson sprints to keep it in, then his pass for Green goes awry.
Well, Craig Ramsey used the phrase this morning, we play with fear, and fear makes us play well. They played a heck of a game. Right there, when you saw the defense, it was very static, but very under control in the zone. The Capitals are going to have to need a flurry here, I think, to tie this hockey game.
Pavlik sends it on around. Oduya on through for Ladd. He was muzzled by Schultz. 1:12 to go in the third. Johansson building up speed. Varlamov on his way to the bench. Marcus Johansson carries it in. Lost an edge. Into the corner she goes. 6 attackers on in white. Knuble trying to win the board battle with Brooks Laich. Oduya stalking them. On top for Carlson. This way to Green, closing. Short side glove. Save. Ondrej Pavlik.
What a great fake shot by Carlson. He froze everybody in the building and found his running mate, Mike Green, for a doorstep shot. Mike Green's a right shot. so he doesn't have much of an angle. Had he been a left shot, he could have picked either corner. He's looking for his bread and butter shot, top corner, short side, and there's Pavlik just being square to the shot and using his catching glove to deny number 52.
Craig Ramsey's already used his timeout, so this one comes from Bruce Boudreau as he gathers the boys around trying to diagram the game-tying goal. 1-0 Atlanta. This evening's Capitals player of the game, Brooks Laich, locker sponsored by the Palm Restaurant.
He did a lot of good things all over the puck, gave a lot of hits out, was involved getting shots on net. As you see, 7 of the Capitals shots off the stick of number 21, 3 hits, and that's why he's being put out there now. Net presence so important as this period has less than a minute to go.
Folks, you can enter to be the Palm Fan of the Month at thepalm.com/fan. Set the lines for you out there. Laich, Gordon, Knuble, Backstrom, Ovechkin, and Green. 6 on ice. Capitals postgame live to follow us. A win of the draw for the Thrashers. Ladd chisels it out. Just enough starch to get it back to center. 35 seconds now as Ovechkin gets the center line. Poke check by Peverley. Peverley made the strip but could not shoot it on the empty goal. Ovechkin has a seam. Alex Ovechkin makes the pass. Knubel's drive blocked. High to the air it goes. Thorburn didn't get it out. Boyd Gordon below the goal line for Knuble. 20 seconds left. Knuble works around a pick. Mike Green sends it on the way. That was fenced out of the air by Thorburn and off of the rink. Faceoff should stay inside the zone.
Man, did they ever have a great chance there. Alex Ovechkin just going with speed, the parting of the seas, and set up Mike Knuble. Again, another nice block shot. They've had very good sticks. Little details to their game have thwarted the Capitals. Here's that pass going wide. There's Knuble trying to get that shot on net.
No one has won more draws in the NHL in the last 2 weeks than Boyd Gordon. 70%. He digs in here. It's a stalemate for the most part. Thorburn comes out of there with it. Didn't get it clear. Laich towards the goal. 8 seconds left. Gordon funnels one back to point position. Backstrom. It'll get away from Green. 2 seconds now. 1. And the Atlanta Thrashers have taken 4 of 6 from the Washington Capitals. They win this one thanks to Nick Antropov. 1-0.
Unbelievable goaltending once again by Ondrej Pavlik. He was sensational in this hockey game. Antropov's goal sticks up, but it was the glove, the low pad saves thwarting the Washington Capitals. He was terrific between the pipes.
Pavlik's second shutout of the Caps. Washington has now been blanked 7 times this year. 1-0 Atlanta the final. We've got more work to do in a moment on CSN.